NBA Straya, how are you going? You're right. You should be. Why is that? Well, it is Monday, November 10, and this is NBA Straya's best and worst stuff of the NBA day for today. I'll tell you what, it's been a pretty chockers weekend, and today was pretty cool, pretty nice, and we had a couple of crackers. So let's get straight into it with the daily. There you go, the whip around. Sadly enough, Lenny Wilkins died. So beloved coach of mine as well, Seattle Supersonics, took them the 1979 title. Breaks your heart even thinking about it now, really. But also was like, coach de jour throughout the 90s. Is on coaching the Hawks, won the 96 gold medal, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, it was also third all time in wins. He coached for a really long time. He coached for like 6 different teams. Really sad, 88 years old, Lenny Wilkins. I mean, not struck down in his prime, but it's a bit sad. On you, Lenny. Legend. One of the few dudes that is like in the top 75 players of all time and also the top 15 coaches of all time. Just saying. Pretty awesome, incredible dude. And the other little bit of news today, Jalen Green looks like a 4 to 6 week break for him, having torn his hammy again, seemingly. I think they've gotten imaging of it today. So we'll see what comes of this officially. My guess is like that 4 to 6 weeks. It just sucks. Like, the dude missed the first 8 games of the season, came back, tore his hammy again. That's just brutal. All right, let's do some quick game wraps from today. Game wraps. Houston outlasted Milwaukee. Massive comeback in this fourth quarter. It was absolutely unreal. Super vintage KD. LP Şengün with the awesome spin move, being hassled all the way up the court by Giannis. This game rocked. Huge fourth quarter from the Rockets. It was like a 9-2 run over the last 2 minutes of this game. Giannis misses a couple of free throws. They were down 7 with like 6 minutes to go and managed to sort of claw and scrape their way back into it. We picked Houston yesterday, and that was the exact reason. They're terrifying. Good job by the Rockets, who I believe are now, look, having lost their first 2 games, they're 6-3 and feeling pretty good. Bucks are 6-4. Brooklyn got smashed by the New York Knickerbockers of New York City, 134-98. It wasn't even that close. And that's absolutely a 36-point drubbing. Nets are 1-9, 6-3 for the Knickerbockers. Celtics outlasted the Magic Men, 111-107. Great response from Boston. Orlando. This is why they're just so frustrating. It's just like you watch them, you're like, hey, this is a good Paolo Banchero game. Oh, why are they not winning? Right, that. Jaylen Brown was good, 27 for him. Peyton Pritchard couldn't hit the side of a barn. Anthony Penny-Simons went off. He had 25 points. Paolo with the 28. Just Desmond Bain, 9 points on 9 shots. What? Just played 2 good games in a row, Desmond Bain. Celtics 5-6, Orlando 4-6. Gross Detroit basketball. Played an absolute ripper. This was my favorite game of today because Detroit beat Philly 111-108 and it just rocked. This game just rocked. You had the sick Philly jerseys, the old AI throwbacks. You had Cade versus Maxey. It was off chops. VJ committing massive shots at the end. Detroit sort of pulling ahead. Cade Cunningham, clutch. Bang. Maxey with the shot to tie at the end. Miss. Philadelphia. Not quite there. Detroit looking pretty good. I'll tell you that much. That was really, really fun. Pistons are now 8-2. This was basically a top of the East clash. Sixers dropped to 6-4 with that one. Thunder beat the Grizzlies 114-100. SGA woke up, got 35. That's just what it does now. Simple as that. Grizzlies just are a mess. Jar couldn't hit a shot. We'll talk about that in a second. Just, I don't know, let him have his guns back at this point. 10-1, the Thunder. Grizzlies 4-7. Then we had Indy get smashed by the Warriors 114-83. Just gross. They didn't have anybody. No Siakam, no Naismith. Nembhard at least played, but they don't have like anybody else. It's shocking. And the Warriors just rode it was like only bloody Johnny Kuminga stunk this one up. Everyone else was solid. Jimmy Butler had 21-9-7. This was their biggest win without Steph Curry since Steph Curry joined the league. Not bad. 6-5 now the Warriors. Pacers 1-9. And then the Wolves absolutely smash-em-rated the Kangs 144-117. Those last 2 games were gross. Kings 3-7. Wolves 6-4. Who was the NBA Straya Pro Performer of the day?
That's not that nice. That's a knife.
Some great performances today. The obvious ones, SGA, 35-7-6. He just wakes up and gets 35-7-6 now. That's cool. 37-8-3 for Giannis. Looked like he had them, but then the Rockets just came from absolutely nowhere. Şengün was incredible. KD was awesome. Amen was fantastic. I mean, Jabari Smith Jr. hit that massive three. So I want to give this to Kevin Durant and Cade Cunningham. Just some insane clutch performances. KD was vintage KD today. 31 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, including a really, really nice pass that got that Jabari Smith three. Just did a bit of everything and was an absolute killer down the stretch. And Cade Cunningham, how clutch was that game for the Detroit basketballing Pistons against the Sixers? Maxey was awesome in this. He had 31 as well. I think it was maybe 33. 33 and 7. Cade finishes, 26, 4 and 11, but had a dagger dunk and one over the top of Andre Drummond, which is going to pop up again in a second, and had the sort of like stop and pop in the paint, just puts them back up 3, 17 seconds left for the win. That was absolutely awesome. Cade Cunningham, he's here. He's a top 10 player. We're doing that on NBA Straya this week. The top 10 players right now so far this season. Cade Cunningham's in there. Spoiler alert. What about Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Wee Ben Shepherd, 1 of 10, brutal. That's it's a bit of a tough one. The Pacers have also just got like no dudes, so it just sort of feels like unfair picking on them. But anyway, 1 of 9 for Noah Clowney, as well as Cumdog Millionaire, our man Johnny Kuminga. 3 of 18 for Ja Morant. I mentioned this. He was just, and this is the thing. If you're going to crack the sads and just like have a big old sook about your coach, also don't suck. What are you doing, Ja Morant? Finished the game with 11 points, 7 assists, shot 17.6 from the field. What are we doing here? He's averaging 14.8% from 3 this season. Just gross. But obviously, the big one for me today for Spud of the night is Jalen Wilson of the Brooklyn Nets. 0 of 8. That is the second worst shooting night of the season, tied with Al Horford and Herb Jones behind Dennis Schroeder. I am German Toronto's 0 of 10 on the weekend. Not bloody bad. But of course, I would personally very much like to thank Jeremiah Robinson Earl of the Indiana Pacers. Why is that, Jim? Well, he went and shot the magic number. Oh, yeah. That's right. Woo! He shot 311. Thank you, JRE. You're a legend. We needed that one. Who was old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates? So that'd be Giannis. Missed both free throws, down 115 to 113. Like, you can't really get back on the team bus and go, hey, Giannis, yeah, it'd be nice if he hit some free throws. He's like, hey, the only reason you're in that game? It's like, yes, you make a good point. But obviously, old mate, no mates at the moment is Nico Harrison. Lovely reports coming out of Dallas that basically he's on the edge of getting fired because everyone's sick of him and they just can't. Every time everyone looks at Nico, they get reminded of how much of a moron he is, and he traded away their franchise's face for like a bag of old, beat up horse flesh and like brittle bones that are Anthony Davis and like 1 pick for Luka Doncic. Oh, but what about Max Christie? Yeah, what about him? Not for Luka Doncic. What are we doing? Absolutely insane. So Mark Stein was reporting today, it's become unavoidable at the highest levels that then, they're possibly considering a mid-season GM change because of a vibe shift potential, the potential to win back alienated fans because every Mavs fan is just off their heads angry. And because the GM who traded Luka Doncic can no longer be the one who tries to move the Mavs past it, because all everyone thinks about when they see his stupid, dumb face is, this is the stupid, dumb idiot who traded Luka Doncic. So, yeah, I'd probably agree you should move on. Love it. It is crazy. The ceaseless negativity around the Mavs is a problem. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. All right, let's do a bit of parenting of the night. Oh, Giannis got Amen Thompson good, didn't he? Just put him under the basket and bang, rammed one down through the hoop onto his head. Absolute pantsing. But my favourite was probably, Şengün also got Giannis, like put him in the spin cycle as he picked him up full court. And Şengün just went, all right, cool, I can deal with this. And he got through Giannis, who was being caught reaching, and Miles Turner, and got ahead and just put in the stay ahead bucket. It was awesome. Way to go, Alpi Şengün. But really, my favorite of the night was Cade Cunningham, absolutely yamming one on Andre Drummond, the dunk dagger. Doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's pretty sick. And this was an and one because Andre Drummond did such a bad job of defending it. So you better believe, Andre Drummond, you got pantsed. Finally, better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James, and Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. That'd be the 21, 6, 4, and 3 steals from AJ Mitchell, who was absolutely carving it up off the bench for your Oklahoma City Thunder. Because basically, they're 10-1, the Thunder, right? We're going to do this week on NBA Straya as well. But they're so good and so deep. Their second best player hasn't played a lick of basketball this season, and they're still 10-1 because of dudes like AJ Mitchell just coming off the bench going, oh yeah, guess what? I'm awesome. Here's 21, 6, 4, and 3 on your head. Honorable mention's got to go to Luka Garza, who had 16, 8, and 3. And I also love that every time Luka Garza is on a broadcast, because he's on, the floor for the Boston Celtics, they have to remind everybody that he won Player of the Year. It's like, oh, he won Player of the Year. It's like, yes, yeah, because every time he pops up on TV, someone says it. That's how we know. Let it go. He's not in college anymore. No one cares. He's a grown man. I don't know, Americans in college are just weird. And finally, how about Will Richard? This dude just keeps crushing it. 15 points off the bench for the Warriors again today. I love him. He's a gun. Play him more, Steve Kerr. All right, and a quick look ahead for tomorrow. Well, I guess we'd better do the Aussie player watch before we look ahead to tomorrow. Let's play the music. All right, the only Aussie who actually really got out there today was our man Jock Landale, the Rooster. He had, in that loss to OKC, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 7 from the floor, 2 of 5 from downtown, and yeah, had a rough one up against Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. So these poor Grizzlies are out there going, we've got Jock Landale and Triple J. And OKC are like, we've got a fully armed and operational Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. And yeah, the Mavs lost by a lot. You get that. Jingles also got the win over Sacramento. Didn't get it. He was the only Wolf, the only Timber Wolf to not get out there today because he's old. And he got out there for 9 minutes the other day. And that's enough for Jingles for about a month, I reckon. I hurt going for a bit of a run. Just imagine Jingles of 9 minutes on the actual NBA basketball court. He's like, nah, not again. What are we doing? All right, quick look ahead for tomorrow. What do we got? We've got some pretty fun games. We've got 9 games, I believe, for your NBA Tuesday, which is kind of neat. We'll do the video tomorrow morning, the NBA coffee run. But for the minute, the Lakers are in Charlotte. We're taking them as 7.5-point favorites because they've got a Luka Doncic. Washington play in Detroit. They're 13.5-point underdogs. I think the Pistons on a back-to-back coming home from Philly. I think they still beat Washington, but Washington keep that within the 13.5. Portland go to Orlando. The Magic at a home back-to-back against the Celtics now host the Blazers, who were playing in Miami the other night. It just depends on their Miami hangovers. I think they might have had a day to maybe recover, so I'm going to take the Blazers plus 2.5. That's a fun game, though. Cleveland go to Miami. I'm taking the Cavs. They've got a lot of size. Miami don't have a Bam. We're taking the Cavs. San Antonio versus the Chicago Bulls. How good is this? Josh Giddey versus Wemby. Fingers crossed it's actually Josh Giddey after he tweaked his ankle as DeAndre Hunter shook him out of his boots. I'm going to take the Bulls plus 3.5 if Giddey's playing. If not, we will take the Spurs. Milwaukee, they go to Dallas after a pretty tough loss today, obviously. The Mavs are reeling. The Mavs just kind of stink. Can they actually pull this off? I still like the Bucks too much, right? Between Giannis, between Kuzma, Turner, their dudes, Dallas just stink. Their offense is so bad. I can't trust them. I'm going to take the Bucks. New Orleans go to Phoenix. So Phoenix, a couple of games against the Clippers, some really good wins. They've looked really solid. The Pelicans, just a little bit janky, but it's an 8.5 point line. I don't know if I can trust the Suns to cover 8.5. Do you? We'll go the Pelicans. Minnesota at Utah, that's an interesting one. We'll go the Jazz plus 7.5 in that with the Wolves on a back-to-back as well. And the Utah Jazz aren't too bad sometimes. They got smashed the other day by Minnesota, but I'll take them in this one, plus 7.5 at home. And then the Hawks, go to the Clippers, plus 5.5. We'll take the Hawks. They're playing feisty. All right, you can follow all of our picks over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. You can sign up using the link in our show description or our bio if that's your thing. If not, whatever. But that's where all our picks are. So if you want to go see them and check them all out, follow along if you need to. All that good stuff, it's right there. All right, there you go. That's the best and worst of the NBA today. Tune into NBA Straya every day for everything NBA. Subscribe or I'll fight ya. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And later, hosen.